Design Proposal, and I'm one of the co-hosts, Rachel Cruz. The Design Proposal is an interior design show, and I'm with our principal, Danilo. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
A bit nervous. My first time on camera, though we've been filming.
We've been filming, but I think it's one of those things that, you're probably wondering out there, what makes the Design Proposal interior design show different from other shows you've seen on TV about homes and renos and such. So Danilo has how many years of experience now?
I've been designing for more than 28 years. I started in Manila, Philippines. And then I moved here in Toronto 2006, and now I'm venturing to the US, New York, New Jersey. I've been designing as well, so it's been a continuing learning experience when it comes to design.
I think so, and from what I've learned from all of our location on shoot, there's a bit of a difference too between accommodating and working for a client in Toronto versus the houses and homes you build, say, in Manila with a different climate, different materials, all those things. Those are the things that you probably look forward to as you watch the rest of the interior design show. Tell us a little bit more about what our viewers will expect to see in the next few episodes.
That's why you mentioned about that designing in different cities, different regions. Actually, I've learned a lot from that because it depends on where I'm designing, that I have to follow the local codes, the material limitations, and then at the same time, I've noticed that even though there's like a trend in design, there's still a specific look for each city. And
is it a vibe thing?
Yeah, it's something like that. Sometimes even terminologies. So it's also a challenge for me. Every time I have to switch my technical languages that I'm using on every region I'm designing.
And I guess the beauty of this show is to share with the viewers and educate them about not just those terminologies, but really how a home or a commercial area can be transformed in a way that's part of your vision, that's sort of like not just what's trending, right, but really keeping in touch with the type of the materials that's available. And I think a lot of our viewers too, even for me, I learned so much too, because we weren't really sure what's the difference between interior design versus decorating
and
versus
staging.
So can you tell us a little bit about that before we go straight to our main feature?
Interior design is the art. There's an art involved in interior design. It's the technical knowledge when it comes to designing. It's the real deal in design. Like, you have math, sciences, everything in there. But decoration is just you're using the items that the designer has designed. It's something like that. And then staging is just a temporary setup to sell a certain property. So it's not an end user. So there's a big difference between those three, that a lot of people think that they're all the same. They might sound similar, but like you're saying, like a nurse and a doctor, so it's something.
And the other things you guys should look forward to in the rest of the episodes is we do have, aside from featuring the before and after photos of projects that Danilo has worked on, there's going to be a question of the week, right?
Yeah. It's something like where we can at least let the viewers learn some technical aspect when it comes to designing.
You guys stay tuned, because we're going to be posting at the end of the show.
Each episode,
there's going to be a question of the week, and we will be answering it in the following episode. So right now, I think we need to take a quick break, and then after that, we'll get back and talking about the client and the London home.
Now, we're here inside the house that show you different lighting applications. Let's start with here in the entry foyer, right? As you can see, the light, the ceiling height,
Yeah.
it's in between. This is a split level, like a 1.5 house. So
Yeah.
the ceiling is a bit high, so and at the same time the place is wide enough to accommodate a bigger hanging light to complete the look. I cannot just hang one piece and it's not proportional. You have to always consider scale in lighting. Aside
Yeah.
from the main source of light, you have to always proportion everything to the, how would say it, in relation with the area.
And I
right?
noticed that it's the chandelier in particular. It's on a slanted.
It's on a slanted
roof,
ceiling.
right?
So one
Ceiling.
thing you have to consider on that, even
Yeah.
though it's hanging and on a slanted roof, I used a chain type chandelier.
Yeah.
So I can easily adjust, and then because of the gravity,
It will
it
still
just be level.
parallel,
Yeah. So
right.
if it's like a very like a solid stem, then it might be
won't-
hard
yeah.
to do that. The main source of this light is not just function of lighting the space. It's also by aesthetic, by proportion. And then as you can see, I've added a table lamp in there. So again, the play of heights of source of light to balance a more natural looking house rather than you have too bright on the ceiling and then dark on the floor,
Yeah.
or vice versa, that you have a lighting on the floor and then you don't have a lighting on the ceiling, so there's always a shadow in the house. So this one, even night and day, it will have a balanced lighting.
Well, you know what? That's what's interesting about this house is that there's a lot of big windows. So there's a lot of natural light coming in. So how do you take that into account when you're putting up all these pieces when there is a lot of light coming in already?
Yeah, on daytime it has a natural lighting. However, in the evening, then you don't have any more source of light. So now that's the challenge now. You have to balance it. You have a nice daytime house, but
Yeah.
how come in the evening you become a cave?
It's like pitch black.
That feel of nice daylight lighting in the house, so you want to mimic that in the evening. So the balance of lighting here from table lamps, ceiling, pot lights, wall lights, all of that. So again, as you can see, there's different heights.
Yes.
So what I'm trying again here is to balance the source of light. You have a lower source of light and then you have a higher source of light. When you're standing, you have a light
Yeah.
on the eye level for a person, and then you have a light when you're sitting down.
So it's not just for the design, it's the function.
Function. You
Right.
always, in design, you always have to consider function.
And this lamp is the same style as the table lamp there, right?
And then as you can see from that foyer lighting, it has a similar look.
It's a what is this called? It's a similar silver finish. or
Yeah,
something,
it's like
right?
a polished nickel
Yeah,
finish.
polished nickel. Okay.
You can mix finishes. It's just that on this particular house, we decided to stay on this type of finish, but you can combine finishes. It's just a matter of like balancing again the symmetrical application of design.
You know, maybe back then they might, and I'm not sure if I'm correct here. A lot of people liked everything to be exactly like
Like
a
a
symmetry.
full collection.
A
Very-
symmetry. Like let's just say someone bought this, they want the exact same thing on the other side.
Yeah.
Interesting how you did not do that.
Mm-hmm.
A symmetry, is it a thing? It's an in thing, or because it's part of you balancing the dynamics of the room?
Life is not balanced at all.
Oh, okay. Life
So-
is not balanced at all.
So, but I have to mimic the natural flow of life. So sometimes there's tall on one piece and there's short on the other side. So I don't want it to be like too even. I don't like
Too fixed.
I don't want it like too uniform.
Right.
The asymmetrical style of design. That's what I do. Instead of doing the evens, I do the odds. The tall and the short, the round to square to rectangular. I combine shapes and form.
But still have a unifying
Yes.
factor.
At the end of the day, you want to achieve a more natural looking balance in the dining. Okay, I have this hanging light. You will notice that this one is similar.
To
It's
the
the same collection
chandelier.
of the main.
Yeah, but a smaller version.
Smaller version.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then to complete this area, as you can see, there's even a higher chandelier here
Oh, right.
because it has a high ceiling from the second floor, second level, right? So again, I have a higher source of light. So it helps that. So now I have 3 sources of lights in here. So in the evening, plus when you look at it, the table lamp is there. So when you look at these 4 different sources of light, it really mimics the daytime light distribution. This is called a dual roller shade. It has the functionality of like, you can make it like totally privacy,
Right.
like that, or you can have a view of outside, semi, or you can want it full,
The picture window.
the picture window. Again, it's very clean, seamless, and it's installed inside the window frame so it doesn't stick out, right? Even though this is a house that usually you put drapes in here, I decided to install this to make it very clean and airy looking. Some people, or maybe even some designers, will put a drapery in here because they will say, oh, you have enough space, and this and that.
Yeah.
But as you can see, we're trying to make it very clean lines.
Clean lines, yes.
Like I try to use area rug, like the couch, to be the softer material instead of a drapery and then make it too heavy.
Yeah.
Because if I do that heavy and there's even like a picture window above this one, so it would be too heavy on the bottom and then
Too light at the top.
Yeah.
It doesn't match. It doesn't balance
Yeah.
too much. Yep.
And then this application, I did it on the entire ground floor. As you can see, up to the dining, kitchen area, even the side lights by the entrance.
Yeah.
So, because it's open concept, I have to make sure the flow is there.
So we're sitting down with Tracy, the owner of the house, and I love it. It's beautiful. Thank you for having us today. So I am curious, how did you guys meet?
Well, my husband and I were actually looking for lighting for the house. We just renovated and we needed some lighting. So we gone to Toronto and went into a lighting store, and Danilo happened to be in there. So we lucked out, he was available, and found out he was an interior designer. And so we said, hey, this is fabulous, what a great opportunity.
So before, when you guys met, did you already have sort of an idea of the kind of look and lighting that you wanted, or how did he help you in formulating the whole look of your contemporary, modern, beautiful house?
Well, one of the big things we were looking for was glass in the actual lighting, and as well we wanted to have a chrome look and to have more of a straight linear or kind of a linear look to some of the lights.
Very linear.
So you knew what you wanted.
We
You were
did, but we
specific.
didn't. We knew what we wanted, but we didn't know how to put it all together.
Right.
They know they have a direction, style direction, but choosing the specific fixture, like you said, it's like a
It's
candy store.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
overwhelming.
Every
So
time we go to a supply store, whether it be lighting store or tiles, it's just so much to choose from.
There
And
is.
then you're wondering, how
Where
would
to
it really
start?
look, and the durability, and the budget, and just like, okay, yeah, I'm done. Where are you?
Yeah.
There he
Yeah.
comes to the picture.
So-
Yeah, so no, it was great because we actually saw the foyer light and we really liked it, but we weren't sure what to put with it. And Danilo was able to kind of take us in a different direction with some of our lights because I was trying to match everything, and he said, no, we have to be really creative and innovative. Yeah, I did. We learned a lot through it, and he really helped us define rooms too, because when you have an open concept like this, it's really hard to define a room, and yet at the same time you still want it to feel open. So he was able to do that, to say, put chairs here or a table there, and it kind of defines that area, bring things closer together, create a rug in the center. So it's all of those kind of things that were really, really helpful, and it came together in a beautiful way. Yeah, and I think the really interesting part about this whole story of how it all evolved was that my husband was actually in Toronto at the time, and Danilo and Gary actually picked out all the furniture without me being there.
Yes.
I kept getting pictures.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think
the
of this?
picture.
What do you think of
So
that?
you just had to approve virtually.
I had to approve virtually,
She
and then
just
everything
trusted us.
arrived.
Yeah.
But it was great. The two of them picked everything out, and I got pictures, and I love to usually be on that end, but I couldn't get down there.
Yeah.
And it turned out great.
But that's
Yeah.
that's a great deal of the lady of the house trusting
That's a lot of
the
trust,
husband.
Jason.
It's a lot of
Tru-
trust, because he'd
trusting
never,
the husband with the decided to choose.
So you didn't tell him to set it back.
No, but I trusted because he was with Danilo.
Oh,
if he had
okay.
been on his
If
own,
he was
I
on his
wouldn't.
own?
No, it would never have
It's
happened.
always a challenge in the story. Like, oh, the husband shopping. Oh my God, where's the wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, those things are coming back, or it will
Yeah.
get disapproved. But this one, everything also went smoothly.
I think you're
She is.
Okay, let's move on to the master bedroom.
The master bedroom.
A bedroom has a different lighting requirement. Okay, this is not technically entertainment, right? This is the sanctuary of the owner.
Right.
Even though, being said that, I still decided to put the little chandelier effect.
It's not really little, but it's a beautiful chandelier of crystals.
Yeah, it's crystal.
Yes.
Because I want to add some bling, have some formality, but still with a contemporary look in this bedroom, right?
Right.
So again, you can see there's a table lamp, there's a floor lamp, and there's still pot lights. Again, you have big windows, so in daytime you have a bright light, but in the evening you want something, a decent lighting, but you don't want it to be too bright because this is a bedroom.
Right. Ooh, another chandelier in the bathroom.
Okay, this is, of course, this is the how to say it, the ensuite bath. Right? So, and then the bathroom has a natural skylight lighting.
Right.
So again, there's a daylight is not a problem in here.
Yeah.
You have all natural light. You have glass back walls. You have that daylight ceiling. However, in the evening, then again it's dark.
Yeah.
So I added this hanging light, and then 2 wall lights in there. So, and then even have pot lights on my shower.
Right.
So it's again depends on where or what are they using in the bathroom. So there are corresponding lights in here.
So we talked a bit about the lighting there. Then there was the window coverings and the roller drapes that, I am curious though, the kitchen, it flowed how the living room flowed right into the dining room to the kitchen using this lighting and such. So talk about the kitchen.
Like on that kitchen design, most kitchen will require, or you need a lot of storage space, you need lots of cabinetry to be functional,
Yeah.
right? However, the challenge in this home, you also have that one side which is going to be all picture windows, doors, right? So you have a nice view outside. You don't want, when you're like working in the kitchen, you're facing the wall.
Yeah.
So it's something like, that's why I decided to put the sink in the island, so I'm facing outside when I'm doing my regular chores in the house. So at least I'm enjoying the view outside, and at the same time I have a beautiful kitchen. As you can see, the layout of this one, every furnishing here, there's a consideration that they have to like blend. If you're sitting there, if I'm sitting in the living, I can still interact, even though it's
Yeah.
too far.
It's
You
an
can still
open
see
space.
it's a very open, but not only the openness, the layout of the furniture, the functionality. You can combine the living, dining, and kitchen all together, and you can have one big party in here.
And so then this would be like the open concept that everyone is really into right
Yeah,
now,
but
right?
it's not just only being open. It's like you integrating an open concept.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they do open concept, but they still divide it. One living is a different conversation, but this one is continuous.
I just want to say that so far I'm loving everything in this house. I love
You keep
the
on
pieces.
saying that to all my
That's
projects.
true, but it's so good though.
Okay, now this is the office area that I created. It's like a private corner, but at the same time, not just a table space. They even have a sitting area where they can entertain like guests, like for example. But I created this specifically if they want to work from home, but still not messing the whole house, the look of the house.
Right.
And still, as you can see, there's still a view. This kind of space, homeowners tends to neglect. They don't know what to do. They think of this one as just a walking space.
Yeah.
But what I did in here, instead of just a regular sitting area, I created a functional corner.
Right.
Instead of occupying one room and converting it into
Bedroom or something.
or an office, I just use this one because I don't need to sit down in here. I already have a nice sitting area downstairs. This house is like technically square, right? But
What do you mean square?
like more like boxy.
Angular.
Right, angular.
Lines,
So,
right?
but what I did on the furniture alone, the layout of the furniture,
You softened it up.
angled. It's not typical. People put it like very straight like this against the wall. This is called an island setting.
Oh, right.
I put the furniture in the middle so people can go walk around.
Yeah.
Because I have a nice, the place has a nice window. So I don't want, if I put a couch here, then I'm blocking half of the window.
Right.
So now, and I don't have walls on that side, I don't want to put it on that window, so I have to put an island setting. So everything is a focal point. I have a focal point for my fireplace and TV, I have my windows, and then anywhere I sit, even if I sit here,
And I sit here.
I'm still good. Like I can see everything in this house. So now, as you can see, the layout is very, like the flooring is on a darker tone, so we made the furniture a bit lighter, right? And then,
I just love the whole look.
yeah,
I mean, just the dark, the play on with the lights and the dark, the simple clean lines,
Yeah.
but it's softened with the round edges.
and I'm not afraid of using light-colored furniture with the clear glass tables because the flooring itself is already solid wood, so it's hard surface. So I have to find a way how to soften it.
So, but if we step back though, it's really, you step back and you appreciate the beauty of the home and how it unifies. Is the look with the dark wooden floors and the contrast to white furnishings, is that like a trend now? Or is that something that borrowed from the classics? How could you describe this look?
At the end of the day, I always ask the client to make the final choice. I only make suggestions. I'm just here to guide, because at the end of the day, I'm not the one living in the house, right? So, and then I don't want to make designs that's just based on trends, because houses, I mean, totally different from clothing that you can just change after a few months or so.
Well, they have to last you, but longer than that. Yes.
So you have to be not only practical, functional, and that will last. It could be timeless. So especially in the design, interior design, you have to be timeless.
Well, I think we're going to take a quick break, and after the break, we will be discussing and posing the question of the week. So stay tuned. And we're back. You know, what's interesting about this house, it was actually, what? It was sold?
The client called me and they told me that the house was sold in 2 days.
Were they even planning to sell it?
No,
the
they were
time
not. Actually, they were not planning to sell at all. So, remember when we filmed in there?
Yeah.
We were discussing that, and the husband was out of the country at that time. But actually, he is working in the U.S., and then he got an offer to stay there full time. So, they decided to sell the house.
So basically, they put it up for the market and it was sold in 2 days.
Yes. Without
Wow.
no pre-planning, no nothing. They no staging. They just sold the house
As is.
and it got
Wow.
sold in 2 days.
Wow. Well, it's a beautiful home.
Yeah.
So
It's a well-designed
It's a
home.
well-designed home. There is your first sample of how the design proposal transforms design into
Reality.
reality. There you go. Why don't we post a question for the week? What's your question for the week, Danilo?
Because a lot of people have been asking about countertops, like for the kitchen countertops. What is a better material, the man-made one or the natural stones, which are like can be marble, granite, compared to quartz and other laminate materials for the countertop? And we will answer that when,
In the next episode, so stay tuned.
Next
What are they asking exactly?
like which one is better?
Better in terms of
Like
durability?
durability
Okay.
and practicality.
Okay.
So, which is very important in a kitchen surface.
So there you go. Stay tuned because in our next episode, we will be talking about everything about kitchens.
Yes.
And we'll be answering your question. And that is our wrap. I'm Rachel Cruz.
And I'm Danilo, and you are watching The Design Proposal.